Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Deebo Samuel's agent will reportedly contact Steelers. AFC North foes may also be in the mix. According to a report from SI.com, Deebo Samuel's agent will reach out to the Pittsburgh Steelers to discuss a trade. The San Francisco 49ers wide receiver has received permission to seek a trade with another team. Via Noah Strackbine of SI, one of those clubs he intends to talk to is the Steelers. According to a source from another NFL team, Samuel and his agent, Tory Dandy, are absolutely going to attempt to engage with the Steelers, making them an immediate candidate if they share the same interest, Strackbine wrote. The Steelers spent most of last summer trying to land Samuel's running mate, Brandon Ayuk, in a deal from San Francisco. Ayuk signed an extension with the 49ers, leaving Pittsburgh high and dry heading into the season. During those calls, it was reported that Pittsburgh asked about Samuel and his availability, trying to discuss a trade for him instead. ESPN.com's Adam Schefter also told the Pat McAfee Show on Monday that the Steelers or Baltimore Ravens may be a destination for Samuel. He added Cincinnati to Samuel's list if T. Higgins leaves the Bengals. However, the 2021 All-Pro was recently on a Bleacher Report podcast and was pumping up the Denver Broncos. Some have speculated that Samuel's versatile skill set may be a perfect fit for Sean Payton's joker position in Denver. In other words, Samuel could be featured in that role as more receiving-heavy version of how Alvin Kamara was utilized in the role in New Orleans. During 2024, Samuel caught 51 passes for 670 yards in 15 games and scored 4 total touchdowns. While the 29-year-old appears to be getting along in age quickly in his career, he could still be a better option in that do-everything role offensive coordinator Arthur Smith kept trying to will into existence for Cordarrelle Patterson last year. As of now, Samuel is set to earn $17.46 million in 2025 based on numbers from Over the Cap. This is the last year of his contract. He has 4 voidable years remaining after 2025. He is due a $15.4 million option bonus on March 22. Solving the Steelers' quarterback conundrum one step at a time. Let's face it, the Pittsburgh Steelers are in quarterback purgatory. Since Ben Roethlisberger's season-ending elbow injury in 2019, and eventually his retirement after the 2021 season, this team has been void of quality options at the quarterback position that could lead Pittsburgh to playoff success. Unfortunately, there's no one-size-fits-all solution to solving the franchise's greatest dilemma. This is a quarterback league and everyone else is just living in it. There will be light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually, the Steelers will find their next franchise quarterback, and this franchise can enter the Super Bowl conversation once again. But how do we get there? There's a multi-step process to fix the quarterback position for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's going to take some patience from the organization and the fan base. Step 1. Find a stopgap starter for the 2025 season. Are you ready for this harsh reality check? The Steelers won't be Super Bowl contenders in 2025, regardless of what they do at the quarterback position this offseason. Every explorable option will fall short. But I guess we have to start somewhere. A team with the best interest of future success in mind could get behind deploying a polarizing prospect, one who will live or die by slinging the pigskin all over the field. However, this isn't the Steelers. Pittsburgh cares about being competitive from year to year, and they would never bite the bullet and stomach a down season for the sake of improving their draft capital. Because of this, we move to Plan B. The first step towards solving the quarterback conundrum in Pittsburgh is finding a capable stopgap starter. The Steelers need a quarterback who will aid in the development of the offense and keep the team afloat until they can find something a better and more stable option. Last year, this was a combination of Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. However, Wilson fell apart down the stretch as the Steelers went on a 5-game skid to close the season, including the playoffs. This offseason, the potential stopgap QB option will be even more limited. Bringing back Wilson won't be an enticing option, and there are rumors that this is no longer on the table for the Steelers. Fields could potentially fill this role and hold down the fort. Another season in Arthur Smith's offense could give him enough rapport with the team for another playoff push in 2025. Looking for outside help at quarterback this offseason is an option that may only include a grab bag of has-beens. If Aaron Rodgers wants to keep playing and won't be part of the Jets' plans on offense, the 41-year-old could be an option. The Steelers could also elect to fork up for Sam Darnold in free agency. A last-ditch effort would be trading for a veteran quarterback, perhaps someone like Matthew Stafford or Derek Carr. However, their respective teams may not be willing to part with their starting quarterback. Regardless of what they do, the Steelers simply need a respectable stopgap QB who could lead the charge in 2025. Step 2. Throwing a dart on a QB in the 2025 NFL Draft. The 2025 quarterback class isn't as bad as the 2022 class, when the Steelers insisted on taking Kenny Pickett with the 20th overall pick, but it's not a strong group overall. Still, there's nothing more important than the quarterback position in football, and it's hard to justify not selecting one in the draft when Skylar Thompson is the only QB under contract, and may not even be deserving of a QB3 role. Because of this, the Steelers need to throw a dart at the QB board and see if it sticks. More likely than not, whichever quarterback they select in the 2025 NFL Draft will be nothing more than a backup QB in time. However, there's always a chance you could strike gold. To increase the likelihood of finding a potential long-term quarterback in the 2025 draft, the Steelers need to swing for the fences by taking a quarterback with the tools and upside to eventually develop into something. Over the past few years in the NFL draft, nobody should fault the Tennessee Titans for taking a swing on Will Levis in the second round. The same can be said for the Colts' decision to draft Anthony Richardson. Both quarterbacks have remarkable physical traits, and with some fine-tuning, there is franchise QB potential. More often than not, taking a stab at talent alone isn't going to work, but the process is right. For instance, the Patriots are already drawing interest from teams about backup QB Joe Milton III. New England threw a dart at a talented QB in the 6th round of the 2024 NFL Draft after selecting Drake May with the 3rd overall pick. This year, there isn't a plethora of QB talent worth gambling on, but a few names are worth a shot. Ole Miss Jackson Dart checks nearly all of the boxes when it comes to tools and production to be a potential starting quarterback, while Louisville's Tyler Shaw has outstanding size and arm talent. The worst that could happen is these guys play themselves out of the league in a few years. Regardless, landing a developmental quarterback with reasonable upside is a worthwhile dart throw, considering how important the quarterback position is in the NFL. Deebo Samuel's fit with Steelers assessed by analyst. Deebo Samuel, San Francisco 49ers wide receiver, may be soon playing for another team in the upcoming NFL season. According to James Palmer from Bleacher Report, Samuel might find a cozy home with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are also on the hunt for a new wide receiver. The Pittsburgh Steelers finished the 2024 NFL season in second position of the AFC North with 10 wins and 7 defeats. They'd been looking for somebody opposite of George Pickens in Pittsburgh, and Deebo fits the criteria, I think, for a couple of reasons, he said. Remember, they were going after Brandon Ayuk before, they almost had a trade done there. I believe they almost had a trade done for Christian Kirk as well during the season, and then Kirk ended up getting hurt. So, they'd been looking for potential receivers in the trade market. Deebo is used to not being that number one. James Palmer, from Bleacher Report, said recently. The Pittsburgh Steelers could definitely use a performing wide receiver. While they do have George Pickens, who is clearly one of the best in the league, the team has some space for another talented wide receiver in the squad. With Deebo Samuels being senior to Pickens in years, the current 49ers wide receiver could turn out to be a promising mentor for the Steelers wide receiver. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Deeboo Samuel? Leave your opinion in the comments.